Jacob Morgan, The Future of Work, Attract New Talent, Build Better Leaders, and Create a Competitive Organization. Welcome to the engaging summary of The Future of Work. In this concise piece, you can anticipate exploring insightful topics and themes that delve into the effects of democratization on the world and the difference between democracy and liberty. The book highlights the importance of developing a stable middle class, fostering wealth, and maintaining focus on constitutional liberalism to bring positive changes to society. Dive into this summary to understand why liberties are in danger in countries with poor economic development and uncover the measures that can be taken to foster progress. Prepare to gain a lucid comprehension of the influential forces behind liberty and democracy and their impact on the world.
The rise of democracy. Over the past century, democracy has become the most prevailing political trend, with 119 countries classified as democracies in 2004. Democratization has been facilitated by the rise of technology, wealth, and the expanding middle class. However, the democratization of countries does not necessarily equate to the increase of liberty, as many countries that claim to be democratic have curtailed their citizens' basic rights. Additionally, the rise of democratization has resulted in the reduction of state power and the transfer of power to capital markets, corporations, and non-governmental organizations. Democratization continues to be a worldwide movement, and the struggle between centralized state power and democratization has led to an increase in smuggling and terrorism. Despite this, democratization in cultural areas has flourished with the Internet's dissipation of centralized control, as record-grossing movies, music, and TV shows reflect the public's choice rather than a few critics' opinions. The origin of liberty. The rise of the Christian Church in Rome after 324 AD marked the origin of liberty, as it gained public control and challenged the state. The aristocracy developed unchallenged and forced King John to sign the Magna Carta, separating the powers of royalty, landed aristocracy, the church, and the towns. Capitalism heightened tensions between social and political classes, establishing a middle class that imitated the aristocrats. England's great political and economic advances migrated to America, where the basics of consumerism, entrepreneurship, and liberal democracy were already in place. The threat to liberty, weak economic development. The link between economic development and liberal democracy is vital. Studies suggest that per capita income is directly related to the longevity of a country's new democracy. Wealth plays a significant factor in giving the middle class and business communities an independent power base. As per capita income increases, the state becomes more responsive to society's needs, relying more on formalized laws. Nations such as Romania, Belarus, Bulgaria, Croatia, Malaysia, Turkey, Morocco, Tunisia, and Iran have higher per capita incomes. Hence, they're on the cusp of developing democracies. Although each country has political baggage, liberalizing the economy can foster liberal politics. The concept is being tested in China, where the Communist Party still controls political power. Nonetheless, China's economic growth has been unprecedented, with per capita income up from $1,394 in 1980 to $3,976 in 2000, and 170 million people have moved out of poverty. Government officials maintain their tough political stance, as seen during the Tiananmen Square massacre, to prevent disorder. Countries with weak economic development face the threat of losing their liberties, while those with higher per capita income are on their way to immortality. The rise of illiberal democracies. Boris Yeltsin's introduction of conservative-pushed policies in Russia led to his becoming an illiberal democrat, a new type of leader who suspends civil rights and democratic principles for the sake of preserving power, a common occurrence in modern-day Russia and China. Despite being a wealthy nation with rich natural resources, Russia had little to offer its citizens due to the state's possession of its economy and lack of social infrastructure. Vladimir Putin rose to power using centralization and intimidation, and Russia's press freedom is now virtually non-existent, with few political opponents. The problem is not only limited to Russia but is also present in 10 of 22 Latin American countries and most Arab governments in the Middle East, with many fundamentalists rejecting democracy in favor of Muslim theocracy. Why has the Muslim world fallen behind? The book explores why the Muslim world has fallen behind Western countries, citing factors such as authoritarian Muslim law, lack of political freedom and economic reform, and a tendency towards anti-modern Islamic fundamentalism. Arab leaders must adopt policies that promote capitalism, constitutional liberalism, and membership in the World Trade Organization to bring lasting change. The Middle Eastern countries best suited for reform are Egypt and Iraq, although democratic reforms take time to establish and must be based on a foundation of liberal democratic infrastructure.
As we wrap up this enlightening summary of the future of work, we can acknowledge the crucial relationship between wealth, liberty, and democracy. Understanding this connection is essential for nations to attain stability and growth. The importance of establishing a strong middle class, thriving wealth, and adherence to constitutional liberalism can lead to powerful changes within nations. By reflecting on the rise of democracies and the threats to liberty in countries with weak economic development, it is evident that fostering economic growth and political reform are key to building a brighter future for all.